Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Beyond Grad Show. I have a special guest here with us today and a friend. Uh, Sai, thank you so much for being here. Let you introduce yourself and then we can start our conversation.
Got it. First of all, thanks for having me, Varun. And then it was finally nice meeting you in real life a few days back in San Francisco. And to start with my intro, for those who don't know me, I'm Sai Kumar. I currently work as a lead data analyst at a healthcare company. And simultaneously, I also create content on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Substack. I have started creating content on LinkedIn in September 2023, if I'm not wrong. So it's been almost 2.5 years since I've started and grew it to 230,000 followers so far. I primarily create content on data analytics, data science, AI, job search, and little bit of my international student journey, which is not easy as an immigrant in United States, but worth it at the end. And I'm happy to join this live and then share my 2 cents for anyone who wants to start putting themselves out there and then maybe have a small impact in your life.
That is awesome. By the way, when Sai says 2 cents, he actually means $20 because it's not 2 cents anymore. We've chatted so much when we met in SF recently, and I'm just so honored to kind of be a part of his journey and share the insights that he has with everybody. Now, whoever is joining us live, please let us know you're joining us live by adding a comment on the platform that you're joining from. So, for example, if you are on LinkedIn and watching this stream live, just say, "Hey, so and so from this location, we would love to see who has is joining us live right now." And you can also feel free to add in your questions anytime. There is a reason this is a live show. I wanted this to not be a recorded podcast. I wanted this to be interactive. So whenever you have a question, just add in. If it applies directly to what we are talking, I'll take that in right away. If not, then after a while, I'll definitely make sure that we answer all your questions. So,
Perfect.
Sai, awesome. Let me dig deep, right? Which is, let me just jump in. You said you created content in September of 2023. When did you come to the US?
So to share a little bit of my journey, I graduated from my bachelor's in 2020, August of 2021. I did my bachelor's in electrical, and then few months later, I couldn't come to United States right after my graduation because of COVID, so I had to stay back for 4 months, and then I came to United States in Jan 2022 to pursue my master's in data science at UConn, and have graduated in May 2023. Started working in June 2023.
Wow. So, the reason I asked that is that from June 2023 to September 2023, you just started creating content within the first 3 months of your job. Why did you start creating content?
That's a great question to start with. So I do have few reasons on why I've started. First reason is during my job search, it was pretty difficult. Being a immigrant, a fresher with no experience, pivoted from electrical to data science, and also needed sponsorship. So I had four things going on during my job search, which made it so difficult. But a lot of people did help me during my job search, be it free or be it paid mentorship. I did get a lot of help from LinkedIn community, especially my professors, my alumni, my friends, friends of friends. And eventually I landed a job after applying to more than 1,000 jobs. And I moved from Connecticut, which was like 30 miles from New York City, and then to South Carolina. So I got my job, and then I was doing my 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 or 8 to 5, and then I had lot of time after my work to be productive or to be unproductive. So I was like, why not choose a hybrid model? And because networking has really helped me a lot in my first job search, I wanted it to 2x it, 5x it, 10x it. And then because a lot of people helped me during my job search, I was like, let me give it back as well. So it's a win-win situation. It builds my network, and then it helps someone like for someone who's like 2 years younger than me, who's starting out right now. I want to do as much as I can. So I thought, why not start posting and see where it goes. I did not start to become a creator, so I always say till today I'm an accidental creator. I started creating content, sharing my knowledge. I was not an expert. I am not an expert. I was just sharing what I knew, and then eventually it became a habit, and then became a creator, influencer, or whatever the word in 2026. But these were the reasons that have started creating content, and I was also following few OG creators in data space, like Zach Wilson, Dali Analu, all the people that I have been admiring for so long, Alex the Analyst, Krishna Nayak. So I was like, why not start posting and see where it goes? That was another reason as well. And eventually, with consistency, time, efforts, discipline, it turned out well. So I always tell myself that I'm an accidental creator.
There's so many different threads I can pull. By the way, I do see Goku's comment here. Hey, Goku, thanks for joining us. Whoever's joining us live, please let him know that you're joining us live, and feel free to add in your questions in the comment section of the platform. We'll take them as and when they come, and how they fit to the conversation that we are talking about. Side is interesting. See, I can pull so many threads. Let me pull a couple of the important ones first. This is me maybe jumping ahead a little bit, but how does it feel calling people who you were inspired from friends now after 2.5 years? How does that feel?
It feels so surreal, to be honest. All these people that I have looked up to for almost 4 years, like, yeah, I started my journey in data science in 2022. These were the people like Zach, Daliana, Aishwarya, or Jess, Megan, Alex, Krishna, everyone I was looking up to like 3 years ago, when I was learning myself for data analytics and data science. And then when these people are like a text away on LinkedIn or WhatsApp or Instagram, I'm like, do I belong here? Like, is this really happening? Especially like people like UD, whose videos I've seen in 2021 while I was applying for uh, my universities. Which university should I apply? Which course should I apply? Are there job opportunities? How much are the expenses? I still remember watching his videos in 2021, sitting in my bedroom back in India. And then I was staying with him for a few days in San Francisco 2 days back. So everything feels so surreal when it happens, but I feel like it happens for a reason. But there's a lot behind the scenes that's happened and that is happening. But uh, as I mentioned, like, I never thought this would happen, but I can see where this is going in 5 years down the line or 10 years down the line. But the amount of opportunities that I have gotten, and then that I believe that I'll be getting in next few years, are immense. And then few of the opportunities I didn't even know existed, that opportunities like this exist. So I think I can't put it in words, but then there's a lot that has happened and changed over last 2 to 2.5 years.
And this is the same person I'm talking about, Yudi, now, who was sitting across the table from you and calling you out for being one of the mafias in the game Mafia that we were playing the other day. So I totally understand why it would feel surreal. And I would give yourself a lot of credit as well. Like, you have skyrocketed your journey on the backs of learning what a creator is about and doing it consistently. And we will definitely dig more into the how. One thread I wanted to pull was also, you mentioned that we were in this SF trip, we were being called creators, we were being called influencers. And for me, it somehow felt awkward being called an influencer. What's the feeling when you hear those things? Because you never set out to be that person. At least I didn't.
I think I would say it feels different when someone recognizes you in public, especially like it did not happen much in 2023 when I was starting out, or 2024 when I was growing, but it has happened a lot in 2025 and in 2026 when I go for maybe a walk, or maybe for an event, or maybe for a conference. So when people recognize and come to us and talk, I've been following you for 2 years, 2.5 years, or like few months, and then I've gotten a job, I got promoted, I got this opportunity, I learned this. So all these things make me that, okay, make me do more of what I'm doing right now. It keeps me motivated, pushes me a lot more to do research, create content that's valuable, collaborate with other creators like yourself, share my journey, share my knowledge, share whatever I know. Like, I'm not an expert, but I just share what I know. And then for someone who's like 2 years younger, like 2 years younger self of myself, or who's just starting out in data, or trying to land their first role and then pivoting from first role to second role maybe. So I think it feels different when someone calls us a creator or influencer, but I prefer being called a creator more than influencer. So but we do influence a lot of people, but I like being called a creator more than influencer.
Which is a great thing for everybody to take away, because I felt something very similar as well. I didn't like being called an influencer because you directly associate that term with a lot of like Instagrammers that are more lifestyle content, which again, they are influencing people. So I wouldn't throw water on what they are doing, but it is a different vibe, and it's okay to not be comfortable with the vibe while still continuing to create. So that is one of the hangups, which is, oh, I don't want to be an influencer, or I don't want to be famous. Well, you don't need to be if you don't want to be. The other hangup that people have when it comes to creating content is what I call the spotlight effect. So the spotlight effect is where you feel that there is a spotlight on you and the entire world is looking at each and every step that you make. What we all don't notice is that everybody is going through this spotlight effect. We all feel there is a spotlight on us. Did you feel that spotlight effect pressure early on? How did you navigate that and how did you reconcile with it?
Exactly. Especially this happens when you're starting out, because when you're starting out, you don't. There are a lot of fears in the people. One is like people might think that I'm not an expert. Fear of judgment is one thing. Like your family might judge you, your friends might judge you, your LinkedIn connections might judge you. People are scared of this judgment, but you need to come out of comfort zone in order for you to grow at 2x or 3x or 10x. So growth happens outside comfort zone. That's what I've learned the hard way. And I would say fear of like have fear of zero, and another fear I see is fear of zero engagement. People think that a lot of people, especially in the first 5 posts, 10, 20 posts, you will get see 0 likes, 1 like, 2 like. Have been there, done that. And then I've seen posts which get 5k likes, 10,000 likes, 15,000 likes. I've also seen posts with 0 likes, 1 like, and 2 like as well. So it's a journey. So most people start and then post for a week or two, and then they don't see engagement and then stop it. But it's not enough data to make a decision or to conclude that it's not working. Give it 3 months or 6 months solid. So it happens over time with consistency, discipline, and efforts. Another thing is, so you need to come out of that comfort zone and then fear of that judgment from your family, friends, and your connection in order for you to start posting and then grow. Another is overthinking your content. So at first you might not know what to post, how to post, when to post, but the hardest thing is just to post. So whatever you have in mind, you might not be an expert, but there are like hundreds, thousands, and lakhs of people who might have lesser knowledge than you. So target those people. So whatever you have learned, maybe in your 20 years or in 30s, you're in 40s, whatever you have learned in those 30 in your age number, so just start posting about that. So do not think about multiple content pillars. If you have one, that's amazing. But if you don't have, start posting on different niches. Maybe your professional journey, your technical knowledge, maybe your personal journey. And then eventually you'll figure out what's working, what's not working. When you have enough data to see, okay, this kind of post works, this kind of post does not work, you know what to post, you know what you should work on. So I would just say, do not overthink. Most people will say, I don't know what to post on. So you have your skills, you have your certifications, you have your projects, you have your personal journey. Maybe you got laid off, maybe you got promoted twice in 1 year. That's a starting point for you. So you're unique in your own way. Find that point, start posting around it, and your audience will tell you what they're expecting from you. Are they expecting more of your personal journey or your technical knowledge, or is it just you being yourself by sharing your day-to-day routine? So your audience will tell you what they're expecting from you, unless you know what you want from your audience, or unless you know what kind of audience you want to build. And next is waiting too long to start. So as I just said, the best time to start was yesterday, but the second best time is to start today. Maybe post this event, make a post on that you have joined the live of Varun and Sai. This might be your first post. So just hit that
Yeah.
post button. Eventually, give it 3 months or 6 months, as I mentioned. you'll be somewhere. Like you might be at 1K right now, you'll be at 5K, at 10K, or maybe 100K in 5 6 months. I've seen people who grew to 100K in 5 months, and then who grew to 1 million and 5K or 10K as well. So that's something that I would say, just hit the post button. You already have the knowledge, you already have the courage. You just have to come out of that comfort zone and put yourself out there. People will mock you, people will blame you, your friends will make fun of you, but eventually they're going to understand when you start getting those opportunities. They'll be the ones asking you, how did you start, where did you start, do you have any tips for me? So the table turns. Initial months are difficult, and even time it's going to be amazing and worth it.
Very cool. I will definitely paraphrase because you shared a ton of amazing content, but you definitely want to see this comment from Sohan. Um,
Are you the mafia? I'm the villager
so
mafia and everything.
this is an inside joke for people who are just chiming in. We all, as a bunch of creators, met in SF recently. And one of the most memorable things we did was we started playing Mafia together. And we played till 2 a.m., probably, I think 2 a.m. or something
3 a.m.
ridiculous like that. And I'll tell you one thing about Sai, right? We've been talking about personal journey. Sai, uh, for the love of it, couldn't lie. So if he was mafia, it was so obvious on his face, and we all called him very pavam. So he's a very pavam guy. I'll continue because I think we'll never end with the SF stories. But what I will say is I'll paraphrase, Sai, because you shared a ton of great content there. You said a lot of the barriers that you have in the beginning are fear of judgment from friends, family, coworkers, etc. Fear of not knowing what to write about, fear of starting too late, and then fear of
Zero.
hitting the publish zero engagement, right? I think we all go through that in the beginning. And I'll give a range to people, right? This is Sai, who started on his creator journey 2 months after getting his first job in the US. And here's me, who started my creator journey, I think, 13 years into my US career. So there is no there's no timeline. You can start, like, if you are here, if you are interested, if you're watching, it means that there is something, a burning desire inside you. Just start. So did I capture all of this correctly, Sai?
Perfectly. Yes. Just start.
Okay,
Hit that post button. You'll figure out eventually.
great. So I have a question then, which is, when you started writing content, like you mentioned that at the beginning you really did not get any engagement, neither did I. Like, when was the first time a post of yours went viral? Like, how many posts had you already written by then, or how many months were you already writing before your first post kind of went whatever viral it felt like in that moment?
I think it took me almost 2 months for my viral post, but the definition of viral has changed for me over the years. But at that moment, I felt like it was viral. So I think if I usually use it to post 3 posts a week, at 2 months, I would say it took me almost 25 to 35 or 40 posts to get my first viral post, which had almost like 30K or 40K impressions, and then got me almost like 200 to 300 followers in one day, which was great. Right now, I get like at least 500 followers a day on average, but it was a great moment when the average was like 10 20 followers per day, and when you see a peak at 300 followers per day, that was like peak viral moment. And that kept me that was one of the push as well. And another push was when Yudi reached out to me to collaborate on his YouTube channel to share my journey. I felt like, okay, people are watching my post. Yudi is watching my post. He invited me to a podcast. So there was another creator called Aditya Sharma who was already at 150,000 followers at that time, and he reached out to me to collaborate on another data analytics competition to host alongside with him. So when people that who have admired for so long started noticing my post, I was at 5K followers. So when these people were following my post, I felt like, okay, I'm doing something correct. Else they wouldn't have reached out to me to be as a guest on their podcast or to host a competition along their side. So it took me almost 2 months to answer your question, but when you get messages or opportunities like this, that's when you'll be motivated. Even though I would say not everyone might get it, and few people might get more than what have gotten, but it's just that be it 0 or 10 opportunities or 100 opportunities, you have to keep going. That's the key, because you have to give it time. It's not going to happen overnight is what I want to say at the end of the day.
That's very cool. For anybody watching, another data point is that for me, it was 4 months. So three and a half or so. Like I started my journey in January of 2023, and mid-April was when one post went above like 100 likes, or like it went to 400 likes or something like that. And it was about whether you should answer yes or no for needing sponsorship in the future. And I gave my opinion. It was a little contrarian, and but I totally get your point, and I want to underscore that there are two ways that you continue to be motivated. Two, three ways. One is you see engagement. The other is you notice attention from peers or people that you have looked up to, and they reach out. That's another motivation. And the third motivation is sometimes just a random message that shows up on your inbox saying, "Hey, I really enjoy your content, and that post helped me." Is motivation important in the beginning of this journey?
Especially in the beginning, you need it, because as you grow, you would get opportunities for sure, and you will be motivated, or you have to be motivated no matter what. But initial days, you need to be motivated, because you wouldn't be getting much opportunities, you wouldn't get much engagement, you might not get traction, or like everything feels apart, especially when you're starting out. So you have to be motivated when you're starting out. So I would say, like, that's the one of the key things that you need to consider. You have to be consistent, you have to be disciplined, you have to be motivated. So do not chase the numbers, especially when you're starting out. Chase value. What kind of value are you giving to your audience? Are they learning something from it? Are you learning something from it? Is anyone getting benefited from what I create? So focus on these metrics. The follower count or your opportunities, everything is going to be byproducts of what you're uh, creating right now. So you're planting the seeds when you're starting out, but eventually in 3 months, 6 months, you'll be plucking fruits out of it. So wait for that time. But especially, as to answer your question, you need to be motivated, especially when you're starting out. Eventually you have to be motivated, or you will be motivated, because of the opportunities and people that you meet, and everything that you see feels right, because you have gotten the numbers, you have gotten your connections, you have built your network, you have built your personal brand. So my hypothesis, you will be motivated enough to keep doing what you're doing, but initially you do not have all of this. That's when you need it the most.
That is perfectly said. And I have felt the same way. And I think I want to ask you the specifics of what you will say somebody should do when they want to start creating content. And then we'll also go into somebody who wants to grow from where they are. Maybe they're already writing and want to grow. But before that, I really want to dig into two things, right? Which is the fruits of the action that you have gotten, and also clubbing your professional experience in your LinkedIn journey. So, if anybody has questions about that, this is the exact reason why I wanted to have a live session. Is I want to bring your questions in, and I don't want it to be like a recorded podcast that we all watch, which are great too. I just wanted to add a different flavor, especially in the world of AI. So let's bring human as much human as possible. While we wait on questions from the audience, what have been the fruits that you have gotten for the seeds that you sowed early in your creative journey?
Got it. So there are many fruits, but I'll mention few of those. The first is industry connections, as I mentioned, people that have looked up to, or people who have accomplished a lot but might not be visible. Maybe who's a principal data scientist or a director, or senior director or vice president of any company, or founders have gotten access to them. So they are like LinkedIn text away, or Instagram text away, or WhatsApp call away. So first and the best is industry connections. So when you're in need of something, you know what I meant by something, you know where to go, you know how to go, so it's going to be easier for you. Second is speaking opportunities, so you get to speak in podcasts like this or host in-person events. Have hosted almost 3 in-person events, and then probably 30 or 50 or more online events as a host or as a guest. So that's something, so you get to build those connections. Next is I got to work with some of the biggest tech companies like Nvidia, Anthropic, Notion, in helping them getting users. And next thing I would say is I reviewed few of the books which might help me in my O1 or EB1 profile a few months or few years down the line. And I also co-authored a book as a guest with UD and AMNE, so that's one thing. And career visibility, so now I have a lot of visibility, so opportunities, I get a lot of DMs from recruiters or hiring managers regarding the opportunities. And career visibility and job opportunities is one thing. And if I have to and then you build your network, that's one thing. And yeah, these are the few opportunities that I would say. So starting from your industry connections to job opportunities, speaking opportunities, hosting events, uh, learning. And another one is you have to stay updated. So in order for me to create content, I have to stay updated, so I have to learn new things, especially in AI where everything changes overnight, so I have to stay updated. So I need to learn new things in order for me to post on them. So that may help me a lot in my personal, in my job. So because I stay updated, I know what tools work, what tools doesn't work, how they work. And then I'm able to implement these faster at my current job. So that has gotten me much visibility at my current company as well. So these are few things that I would say that I can think of right now, and few things that I can mention.
Okay. You said this as if it was like a listicle that is very obvious. Right? Oh yeah, that this. But imagine, like I want people to chime in the chat, and we already have a couple of great questions already. But I want people to chime in the chat. Do you want any of these benefits? Right? Sai mentioned industry connections, job connections. Tell me more,
Speaking
Sai.
of,
Speaking
speaking of
opportunities, judging opportunities, immigration, flexibility, mobility, all through creating content online. Like this one vehicle. I want people to chime in the chat. Would you want those types of benefits? Just say yes or no. And that can be a way that you tell yourself whether you want something like this or not. And it becomes inbuilt within you as a motivating factor. Would Sai in September of 2023, would he have imagined the kind of fruits you have gotten based on this journey?
he wouldn't have imagined, and even if he had gotten, he wouldn't have taken those opportunities because he was an introvert. He still is, but he's trying to become ambivert or extrovert. But he wouldn't
Yeah.
have taken those opportunities. He wouldn't have imagined for sure, because I was a whole different person in 2023, and then now I'm a whole different person. So I would have rejected or thought of those as scam opportunities.
I know because yeah, share your story about UD reaching out to you, and that applies to this question as well, which is it the visibility that helped you build connections? Meaning, you were starting out. Did you ever get a response from those people? First, share your story about UD reaching out to you, and for those who don't know, Yuri is a friend, but mainly he's a creator who has been creating videos on YouTube from the past 7 years in the space of helping people come here to study and get jobs from especially from India, but from others as well. So um, yeah, tell me about that experience and then the answer to this question.
Got it.
Like,
To start with this story, as I mentioned, I watched Yudi's videos, Harnu's videos, Parth videos while coming to United States on which universities to choose, which curriculum, how to get scholarship, how to get TA. So everything end to end about India to United States journey. And fast forward 2 years down the line, I get a LinkedIn message from UD. This was after 2 or 3 months after I started creating content from UD saying, "Hey, do you want to be on my podcast? Like, I would love to feature you on sharing your journey from India to Yukon to being a lead data analyst at Blue Cross Blue Shield." I was like, why on earth would UD text me? People, person with more than million followers. I was at 5K. He's at million. I really thought it was a scam account, a scam message. I had to go through, open his LinkedIn profile and check if it was actually Yudi's account or not, and then confirmed that it was Yudi who reached out to me and replied to him. I think I still remember that moment. I almost called 5 to 10 of my friends saying Yudi reached out to me. Yudi texted me. He invited me to be on his podcast. So now back, fast forward 2 more years. Again, back to SF story. I've met him multiple times. We connect multiple times over every month right now. But that's the one of the biggest fruits, I would say, as we were discussing. So you get reached out, or you reach out, and then they accept your invitation. And to answer this question, is it the visibility that help you build connections? 200%. That's the visibility that has helped me in building the connections. So to give some numbers, when I was job searching or when I was a student in masters, if I text 100 people, I would get reply from maybe 10 or 20 people. But if I text 100 people right now, I get reply from at least 60 or 70 people, and chances of getting a referral from them, or their time, or their 2 cents on their journey, or feedback on my journey, is way more than probably 5x or 10x of who 2023 version of me. So visibility will get you connections, will build your network, and then will get you opportunities that you would have never known that these existed. And to answer second part, when you were starting, did you ever get a response from those people? As I mentioned, at starting it will be difficult because you're just starting out. So all I would, especially when you're starting out, try not to ask a lot from them. Always try to, I believe in give, and maybe you get it sometime. So believe in giving more value to the audience, and then you'll be getting a lot of value from them, and then from the people that you look up to with the time. So at first it might be difficult, you might not get replies or opportunities, but give it time. As we were I and Varun were mentioning, give it 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. For one creator it can be 10 days, for one creator it can be 2 years. But it depends on your niche, how you post, sometimes a little bit of luck as well. So multiple factors that are in control and not controlled. So just keep going. So you will build connections, you will get response from them, you will get opportunities. It's just matter of consistency, time, efforts, and little bit of luck as well.
Beautifully said. To conclude on this question, I think my experience also says that there are some times, as I was starting out, the visibility would help me reach out to people, be more confident in reaching out to people. Sometimes people would reach out to me. So to flip tables, right? I saw Sai very early on in his creator journey and we connected right away. I think that at that point, my following would have been higher, but now Sai has skyrocketed me. The point is that at that point, fellow creators see the consistency you have, the passion you have, and just from your comments and everything, you can see, okay, what are the intentions are of those people. And at some point, the following lines become very blurry, and you are just creating a community of people who are doing hard things. So, yes, it might be difficult early on, but then it becomes easier and easier. I
If
do want to, Sai, talk about your job in particular, right? How the job impacted creating content and how creating content impacts your job. But I've got some really good questions about creation or the process of creation. So let's tackle them in a kind of a rapid fire fashion if we want to. So here's a question from Chris, which is favorite tools you use that accelerate your ability to produce high quality content.
first, sure. First is Canva, then comes Notion. Then recently I've been testing Notebook LM a lot. I would also suggest you to try Excalibra. You can just create infographics with prompts by connecting it to Claude Code. You just tell Claude on what you have in mind, and then give it the content, and Claude creates the infographic for you once you connect Claude to Excalibra. You can connect Claude to Canva as well recently. So you just tell Claude what you want, what you have in mind, and it creates the prompt itself and then creates in Canva as well. Previously in 2024, I was doing it myself. 2025, I hired a designer because I was like, let experts do what they're good at. who are creative. I'll do what I'm good at, which is technical part. But 2026, it's also has AI in my team, so I also use AI to create content uh, in terms of infographics and designing. So I would say Canva, Notion, Gamma for presentations, and Notebook LM, Excalibra, 5 tools that I cannot live without for my content creation.
Awesome. How does AI play a role? Sai, obviously AI with your infographics, that is clear. Is there any other part AI plays in your content creation?
A lot for sure. So especially I might not be good at English, I might not be good at spellings or grammars or structuring the post, like how to uh, hook the audience. So while as a humans our attention span is very less, it used to be few seconds few years back. Especially with social media, it has gone to like point 0.5 or zero point 0.7 seconds right now. So you have to grab the audience in less than second. So I'm not a writer, I'm not a ghost writer, I'm not an author. So I would let AI do that part. So I give my ideas, I write my ideas in Notion doc, write the content in Notion doc, put that in AI, and then convert it to good structured, readable, and like with numbers, with bullet points. And I let the AI do the creative part for me of hooking the audience or keeping it readable, structured, and that stuff. That's where AI comes into play. Once the post is made, I would then write carousel content or infographics content, again put that back in AI, and then structure it again, give that structured content to my editors or designers, and then they do their magic of creating infographic, carousel, or editing stuff. So it plays AI plays very important role from start to end for the text content of my post, for the image content of my post. Maybe editors might be using AI to create edit the content. So AI is involved in every step of my content creation process. So you have to use AI in order for you to save time, money, efforts, and then maybe create high quality content or create more content in less time. So I would say if you're not using AI at your job or for content creation or for anything, you're already behind, but it's never too late. Just start.
Very good. Some one another question that I see, but we've had some comments also in the between there, which I says, "Hi, Sai, happy to see you in
Hey
a
Vijay.
live show." I'm guessing. Um, Another question from Akshay is, oh, Akshay also mentioned that he was excited to meet you in SF this last week. And then his question is, how do you manage time while working full time?
This is one of the most common questions that I get in my DMs, in my podcast, or even in person when I go there. At first, it was used to be very difficult because for the first 7 or 8 months, if I had to make a post tomorrow, I would write it today. That used to kill my time every day. But eventually, after 8 months, I started being organized. So I would write all my ideas in my Notion doc over weekdays, and on weekends I sit for 2 hours or 5 hours or 10 hours, depending on how much time it takes. Write all the content, create those infographics. I mean, I used to create back in 2024. Now I have a team of people who does that for me. But in 2024, when I was talking, when I was creating content, when I was at peak of my growth journey, I would write my ideas over weekdays in my Notion doc and convert that to post over weekends, sit for a few hours and then complete everything and schedule for rest of the week. And in order for you to grow, in order for algorithm to push your post in for more feeds, you need to engage with other creators post as well, some micro influencers, some macro ones. So that's when you start engaging with their post would come on your feed, your post would go on their feed, and then they'll engage with your post, and their audience will see your post. So impressions go high, the followers go high. So make sure to, and that builds your network as well. That's one key mistake most people miss. But coming back to your question, managing. So spend 20 minutes a day on ideating. Write everything in your preferred notes. It can be Apple Notes or Android or a sticky note, or a book, or maybe a Notion. And during weekends, set aside like an hour two, especially when you're starting out. An hour or two should do, because you won't be creating content every day, maybe 3 posts a week. So all you need is 3 to 5 hours per week, especially when you're starting out. I'm guessing everyone has 3 to 5 hours. If you really want to create content, eventually you'll create more posts, you'll spend more time. But again, year after that, you'll start building your team, so you get your time back. So it's like a loop, but uh, but you'd have to sacrifice a lot. Your maybe your weekdays now post 9 to 5, you might go with your friends a lot right now, but you might have to reduce that. And during weekends you might be partying or going to movies or events, but you might have to cut that down little by little, maybe few hours every week, but it's going to be worth it when you look back. So managing is difficult, but it's worth it.
Pretty cool. I think those are really good tips, right? It all boils down to whether it's a priority or not.
Exactly.
If it's a priority, you will find
Yes.
time for it. And a good way to find time is what Sai said, which is weekdays for just taking note of ideas, and then weekend for fleshing the ideas out. I think those that's a great way to do that. Another question here by Remy is, do you target a specific time frame of the day for posting content that works for best visibility and reach?
For sure, especially being a data person, and when you're starting out, you do not know what works, what do not work, and what kind of post work, what kind of post do not work. So when you're small, that's the time you can try and fail. More people would not know. And I would say when you're starting out, try out different times of the day, try out different kinds of post, not just text ones, text plus image, text plus carousel, text plus infographics, or different kinds of post at different time zones. Once you are posted for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, you will know what works, what does not work, what time works, what time does not work. That's when you 2x it, 5x it, 10x it. Maybe you know that Thursdays does not work for you. Maybe you know that text post does not work for you. You will know text plus carousels are the ones that works the best for you. Everyone might have different success metric again. Is your success metric more impressions, more followers, more recruiter opportunities, or more speaking opportunities? A specific kind of post might get you recruiter calls. A specific kind of post might get you more followers. Know what you're optimizing your profile for. Are you optimizing it for more followers? Are you optimizing it for more recruiter calls? Are you optimizing it for more speaking opportunities? So have enough data, you would know what works, what does not work, and you know what you want, and then eventually merge these both, and then 2x and 5x it on what does success mean to you, what is a success metric for you. Especially being a data person, I would want to see numbers before I make a decision.
I think a point I'll add here is that you want to look at content creation from both lens, microscopic and macroscopic. So, microscopic, yes, look for ideas that are working, that are not working, posts that are working, that are not working, but make macro decisions only by looking at macro data. This is a problem that I faced early on, is that I was so invested in each and every post of mine that I would sometimes feel like, why am I even creating content?
I
Now,
get that.
if I look back in a macroscopic scale, and if I look back at my 3 year journey, I'll be like, that random Tuesday in year one and month five means nothing now. Like, I don't remember what the post was. I don't remember anything of that sort. So, find create small decisions with small data, and don't create big decisions looking at small data. Look at big data as well, which is just an play on the point, the question here, that yes, the posting time, that posting type, all of that, yeah, experiment with it, look at the numbers, but don't feel like it should determine whether you should write on LinkedIn or not.
Exactly. Yeah. You should keep writing, but it just tells you what to write and how to write and when to write.
Now, this is a question I'm bringing up that I definitely wanted to bring, because I have heard this from 50 people, from my friends to peers, to people, just strangers that I meet from time to time, which is some, I mean, I don't know exactly the context that they are sharing, but the point is, can LinkedIn writing, maybe I'm expounding on this, can LinkedIn writing be sometimes detrimental?
I would say it can be, it could be, but it completely depends on what you're posting, how you are posting, are you complying with your company policies, or are you posting about some sensitive data or like personal projects or from your company that you're not supposed to. So it depends on multiple factors. At a high level, when everything is followed as per the book, it opens thousands of opportunities that you never imagined would exist, as I was mentioning. But it could go wrong as well, depending on what you post, how you post, uh, and what kind of content, the company you work for, the team you work for, the project you work for. So there are other factors that could impact what does it, if it can to determine if it could be detrimental or not. But at a high level, 99% of these would not be, but there might be chances that it could go wrong. But it those are the factors that are not in our control. Maybe you started creating content, you grew to 25K or 30K, you really like it, maybe you want to be a full-time creator, but your company is not allowing, or like for some reason something happened which doesn't allow you to create content, but we really want to pursue. Maybe it's time to find a new opportunity or do something about it. So it just comes down to, again, priorities, and then maybe change your niche or change your direction of posting, your style of posting, or just comply with whatever's the missing pieces. So it could go wrong, but the chances of going wrong is very less. And
It
one
should never stop you from creating, at least.
exactly, if one thing goes wrong, if one door closes, there'll be 100 doors opening.
Mhm. That's a great point. And sometimes you have to look at what, whose asset is this? Is your LinkedIn page your asset or is it your company's asset? Now, in that case, also the company data that you're working on is the company's asset. So don't use that. Use
Exactly.
your assets on your asset page, and you should be completely fine. And in fact, and let's talk about this. When you were creating content early on, you were already working at Blue Cross Blue Shield. Initially, what was the reaction from your peers or your leaders at your company?
From my peers and leaders, actually they did not know when I was posting, but eventually they got to know. But then they have supported me a lot. Like my CPO would call me into her office, and she would say, even till date, a few days back, she called me and like, you're creating great content, keep going what you're doing. My executives, my VPs, they engage with my post and comments. So it again drills down to the company, the team, and everything, and what type of content you're creating. As Varun was mentioning, is it your asset or company's asset? So those are the factors. But I think no one has. Uh, it has never gone wrong in my case, because I was sure what I was posting, what I want to post, what kind of content it is. But a few factors could go wrong for other people. But I think they have been really supportive of me, and a lot of people got to know about the company as well. They got jobs, and recruiters, hiring managers would say your comment has boosted the post, or and then we have fired few people, and few people would come and like, they started they were texting me on LinkedIn before, now they text from Teams saying, I got the job because of you, or like, I got to know about the company because of you, thanks for referring me, or thanks for posting. So a lot of things could change, go in a right way, or it can go in a wrong way, on depending on multiple factors again.
Sai has a knack of saying just mic drop stuff in like a listicle, right? Which is like, oh yeah, this happened. Let's take a let's slow down a little bit and take everything that you've said, Sai, which is one is that no, your leadership team applauded you for creating content. Is it because you were writing about your particular domain, like the skills required in your domain, and then bringing others with you? Um, so, did the topic and tone determine the reaction that you got at work?
I would say 100%. The topic, the way you write, I primarily post content on data analytics, data science, and AI, where I have done my masters, and where my work also involves a lot of data. But I'll always try to keep it generic, and do not bring my current projects or my company into the play. And then try to share content for someone who's starting out, or who wants to make a next move to data, or from one role to another role. So I think that's something. So the tone of it, the content of it, the way you tell, everything matters a lot more than you think. You never know who's watching. It could be your current employer, or it could be your future employer. It could be your past employer as well. So make sure on how you project yourself, what you're posting, how you are posting, because it's your personal brand. It's, you never know who's watching, unless someone comes and tell you that I'm watching your content. You wouldn't know. You would see 100,000 views, 1 million impressions, but you don't know who those 10,000 people are, 100,000 people are, a million people are. So even it's the same for me. Like when you go out and walk, that's when people come and say hi. They take a picture, or in gala event that we were there. Unless someone tells, you would never know. So just be aware of what you're posting and how you're posting.
And then you mentioned how recruiters in your organization mentioned offhand how your content was helping the company. And on the other side, candidates who were following you on LinkedIn are now sending you messages through Teams. Right? Talk to me about both those sides of the equation. So the recruiters and candidates, how did they benefit from you creating content?
At a high level, recruiters, I think a few of them I work with, they have gotten few candidates from the candidate side of it. So I think a lot of people got to know about the current company that I work for, and then I've referred a lot of people, help them understanding what skills are required for data analyst and data scientist in general. And then they have gotten good opportunities, while most of them have gotten rejections, even post referral, but it makes ton of difference on both sides.
There are solid questions in here already, but I do want to kind of focus on the job aspect of it, right? Which is how has creating content help you become better in the role that you are doing right now?
Especially creating content in data and AI space will help you a lot, because it keeps changing every day. Like there's a new tool, new framework, and I have to be updated in order for me to make a post on it. If I don't understand what I'm posting, when someone comments, I can't reply, or it wouldn't make sense if you don't know what you're posting. So I have to stay updated. So I keep learning new stuff from YouTube. I take a lot of courses, I enroll in a lot of cohorts, and I keep myself updated, and I post on it. Because I have to post, I am updated, and because I'm updated, I'm very good at my job in automating stuff, saving time, or making more money, saving efforts. So because I'm learning a lot in my job, I'm able to create content. Because I'm creating content, because I'm staying updated, getting better at my job in terms of saving time or money. So it's like they're so much correlated. So being good at your job makes you create more content. Creating more content will make you better at your current job. So I would say both are interrelated or correlated a lot to each other.
And that's just the technical side. Talk to me about the soft skills, right? Writing helps you create clarity of thought, improve your communication skills. You are now in rooms with people that you didn't believe you would be in. So you have to navigate that. You have to overcome that discomfort. Talk to me about the soft skills side of things.
Especially, exactly. And because when you're in data science field, it's not just your technical skills that matter. It's the combination of technical skills and non-technical skills that matter a lot more than just your technical skills. You have to be good at communication, explaining simple concepts, sorry, explaining complex concepts in a simple way to your stakeholders. When they ask what is p value, what does this KPI mean, like can you explain them in a way that they can understand, because they might or they might not be technical. And when you're present making a presentation in room full of executives or your manager directly, you don't want to mess it up. You want to be clear in your thoughts, you want to be good at storytelling, you want to be good at communication. That comes from writing every day, because I write every day, and I host a lot of events, I attend a lot of events, I go to podcasts like this, or I host webinars and events. It made me better in terms of my speaking, clarity of thought, or communication, storytelling. So it helped me a lot in building my non-technical skills. While there are gaps, always there's scope to learn. So it comes with time. I'm also enrolling in few speaking courses, because that's on my bucket list for 2026, to become a public speaker. So there's always scope to learn and scope to improve, but it has changed a lot over last 2 years because of me writing content and putting myself out there on LinkedIn and Instagram.
I would highly, highly recommend a course called Heroic public speaking. It's on a website called creativelife.com. It's from a couple, Michael Port, I think, and Amy Port. I might be getting the name wrong. My
Mhm.
apologies if I'm doing that. But you know how much of a fan I am of courses. So I
Yes.
took this one a while back and it was excellent. It was really good. Helped me a ton.
Yes,
So
noted it down.
I'll share something that maybe might be uncomfortable for Sai to share, but we were talking about the benefits of creating content. Now, having created content myself for the past 3 years, I was just recently sharing with somebody that maybe at the start of the journey, I knew 5 people at Amazon, 5 people at Google, 2 people at Netflix, all my close friends like schoolmates and college mates that then went to work at these companies. And lately, to help somebody get a connection at Amazon, so I help my mentees find better jobs. They were already interviewing at Amazon, so they wanted help. So I looked at my first connections at Amazon and it went on to 60 pages. I
Exactly.
was shocked. And if I look at followers of Varun Gandhi, not just connections of, I mean, I the page just goes on and on. So when you are also going for your next role, now when I reach out to people here on the behalf of my mentees, I'm still getting a 50% conversion rate from first connection to getting on a call with a mentee. Imagine that conversion rate. Now, if I was the one asking for the call, that would be even higher.
Even higher.
So, to everybody who's watching, if you a great advantage of content creation that I don't want to put Sai in spot on, and why I'm sharing my story is that it opens doors to networking at your target companies like no other thing can. Like going through your alumni, going through a warm connection, all of that has a better conversion rate. There is no stronger conversion rate than somebody already following you for your content, having sent you a connection request. When you ask for their time respectfully, they are more than happy to say yes because of all the deposits you made in that relationship.
Exactly. I'll just add one thing. It only compounds over time.
Exactly. All right. Final few questions. By the way, before I go into final few questions, Sai, do you have a hard stop or can you spend
No,
10,
I
15
can
more minutes with
spend.
us?
Yes, I can spend.
Okay, then let's go through these one by one. Reaching 230K followers on LinkedIn, massive achievement. Key strategies that help you grow such a strong professional community.
Yeah, first of all, great question. First thing I would say is obviously the non-technical ones, consistency, discipline, being motivated, like we discussed. Second is try out, try and fail. You know what works, what does not work, and then you 2x, 5x on what works. And third is engage with other creators' post, be it micro or macro. That's when the algorithm would show your post on their feed, their post on your feed. Both of you get benefit, both of you get build your network, and then you grow faster and you learn faster. So that's one thing that I would say. Next is share the content that's something savable or shareable. When people save your content or share your content with someone else, that's a signal for LinkedIn algorithm to boost your post to more feeds. So when you create carousel or infographic, people would tend to save it so they could go back and revisit when they are in need. Let's say maybe interview prep or how to promote it, how to get promoted from senior to staff. If your audience are of that sort, they would save that PDF, and then whenever they are in need, they would go back and see it. So these are signals for algorithm to understand that okay, this post is valuable, people are saving it, people are sharing it, and it will push to a lot more people than you think. So instead of getting a 10,000 impressions, you will get 100,000 impressions because people see value in your post. That's something that I would say. And then try to build conversations in comment section. So not just don't just reply to the comments that you get, but try to build a conversation, because the more threads you have in comment section, the more the post will reach to a lot more people. And always try different things out in terms of content format. Like maybe I have few different pillars: data analytics, data science, job search. And job search and immigration will be like little bit of, if I have make 100 posts, 20 of 30 would be job search and immigration combined, but rest of them mostly is technical. So try to have few sub niches as well, so you know what works and what does not work, unless you just want to be known for one of the few things that I have mentioned. You go after multiple things and then try out different things. And yes, hook matters. As I mentioned, it can make or break your post. And it doesn't mean that your hook should be good and content should be bad. It means that hook and content should be related, but hook matters.
I follow this creator and I'm part of his community called Yasmin. And Yasmin always talks about how your hook should give away the post
Yes.
in two lines. Like give away the complete post in the hook and then expand on it as you go. And I think that has helped me immensely.
Yeah.
Next question, Sai, is the one here. They are curious about courses, frameworks, or resources that helped you deepen your expertise in content and social media planning.
I would say I haven't taken any course on creating content. So I would say just follow the creators that you aspire to be, that you have learned a lot from, and then look at their posts, see how they have started, and what create content for some time, give value to their content. Eventually, I mean, start commenting on their post, repost their post. They'll notice you, they'll remember you. When time comes, drop a message, send a connection request, they're going to accept you. Get on a call, that will be your course. So you don't have to pay courses unless you really want to. But what I've done is the same thing. I comment on people that I aspire to be or that I learn a lot from. I repost their content even till date. And then when the time comes, because now when I'm commenting and then they're replying, they have seen my name. So when I reach out, it's not the first time that they're seeing my name in their DMs. It's the second time, third time, or maybe 50th time, because I've commented on 50 of their posts. The chances of you getting a reply their time is way more than just dropping a random cold email or cold message. And when you hop on a call, ask the questions, ask their journey, ask their failure story. That's gonna be your $10,000 course.
I think that's a great point. You want to be a little cautious about which course you invest in. There are some courses that are $10,000, but ultimately, that course, if I had to gel it down, it is like join our engagement pot, right? We'll support you through a team of VAs, yeah, and my point being, follow people, see who you trust, and then you can learn. So I'll give a couple of instances that I have, the courses that I have invested in. Very early on, I had taken a course from somebody called Justin Welsh. I thought it was pretty good. For $150, it gave me the frameworks that I needed. Then I have joined a community by Yasmin. I think he's really good as well. That's another resource that I trust. And lately, I've been noticing this guy called Colin Strahan. He's from Alaska, a creator from Alaska, and he's pretty good about helping people with their LinkedIn journey. So those are the few options available for those who want strategy to fast track their
Ex-
process or their thinking.
exactly. The best way is to learn from experts. If you want to really invest it, I would say go for it.
So this is a job search question, which is how do you think resumes are evaluated and shortlisted, given that most applicants tailor their resume for each job?
That's a great question. Assuming that everyone's tailoring their resume and then every resume matches to job description, the deciding factor could be your networking. Like, did someone refer you? Did someone put in a good word to recruiter or hiring manager? That could be a differentiating factor. And that would be the first one. The second one could be how relevant is your past experience to current experience. While you can tailor your resume, you can't change the industry or your experience or the impact that you have created. So two factors that I can think of would be a game changer to get that first interview call. But Varun, you might have more info on this than I do.
Appreciate that. I think Sonia, I think I'm guessing that's her name. Look, everybody's tailoring their resume, but you don't know what kind of a fit they have with the minimal qualifications of the job. So, first thing is that you want to apply for things that you are applicable for. Right now, the job search is such that there is enough supply out there for roles. So, companies are finding exact requirements from people who are applying right now. So, I would say that make sure that you're applying to the right positions. The best way to circumvent this, and I've had recruiters from Meta join us in this show. Meta, Google, Uber. I had Sohan on this show who recently hired 5 data analysts. There is a hierarchy of people when it comes to getting interviewed. The first is they always prefer people who are internal, right? Because they have performance data on it, and then they have essentially know-how, domain know-how, company know-how. So they always prefer going internal first. If that is not possible, then they go to referrals because somebody has vouched for them. In the referrals, there are two types. One is a low touch, one is an advocate. A low touch referral is somebody who just gives their referral ID and says, okay, I'm done, which is great, better than cold application. But if you can get an advocate, a relationship that can move behind the scenes to get your resume to the right people, that will always be an added benefit. So, again, to go through the hierarchy, the highest possibility is internal people, people with referral. If you want, I would still suggest reaching out cold to people who have raised their hands by sending them a short message with good impact metrics. And then finally, cold applications. People do get interviews in all ways. If you are not getting interviews, there must be something that you need to do in your marketing materials and your application strategy to make sure you get better opportunities.
Nailed it.
Also, a question here: how do you ensure legal and regulatory compliance when running promotional campaigns? Have you had experience managing this, or would you be willing to take responsibility for it?
Mm, I do not have any bad experience so far, so I'm like, I hope not. So,
Okay. I find I don't understand the question exactly, but if somebody wants to elaborate further, then they can because it is a touchy topic like legal and regulatory. It would be good to have more information to ask it more specifically. Hey, Naman is here, by the way.
Naman,
A little bit of what is it called? Foreshadowing. Yes, that's the word. Naman is going to be on this show in a couple of days, so he's going to talk about how he did YouTubing from 5 to 9. So just like Sai has done LinkedIn, I have done LinkedIn. Sai is now also on Instagram. No one did this on YouTube, and it's an interesting story. So if anybody's interested, you should definitely join that show.
yes, he has.
I had some really good comments from Akhil. I think he mentioned that I started commenting to every job post as CFBR. So now in my feed, I can only see job hiring. That is a great strategy, by the
Exactly.
way. My friends say that they can't even look or find a person who is hiring, but my account
Exactly.
only has people hiring in all FANG. So
That's a great.
that's a great strategy. Sai, anything to add there?
Exactly. You can tune your feed on how you want it to be look like, because he comments a lot on job hiring post. His feed is filled with lot of hiring posts, so he knows the hiring manager recruiters directly. For my feed, it's a mix. I comment CFBR and lot of posts, so my audience get helped, and I also comment on creators that aspire or that I admire on data analytics, data science, or job search. So my feed is mix of both tech and job search and immigration. But you can fine tune your algorithm or feed by engaging on what you want to be seen on your feed. Most people tell that I don't know if there are openings or not. Try commenting on 5 or 10 posts of hiring post, and your feed will be filled with opportunities.
That is brilliant. Another technique I'll share is go to your search bar,
It's gold mine.
go in there and just click in there and hit enter. So it will open a blank search. In the search, go to posts, and in posts, go from um, go to latest, and then there is an additional filter called company of the person posting, author company. In author company, write your target list of people. You will find people in your target company that are writing and creating on the platform. It could be recruiters, it could be 9 to 5 professionals, it could be leaders, whatever the case is. Just show up and the feed will learn accordingly. If the feed learns or doesn't learn, just bookmark this, and then every day just open that bookmark, see who's posting from those target companies and interact with them. That's another way to make tell the feed and to design your own mini feed to help you in the job search or anything beyond that as well.
Exactly.
All right, I think we have a final question here before we go into a small kind of a fun rapid fire, just three or four questions there, not much. This last question is trying to build conversations over comments is a great way. Oh, this is an observation.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, completely agree. Anything to add here, Sai?
Yep, I think I have built more connections in comment section than my DM. So because I always make sure to give before I reach out or ask for something. That's the best way to build your network, because you don't know the person before you reach out, and they don't know you. So if you are expecting something from them, you might not get it, and vice versa. So the best, when you're, I always say this to anyone, when you're reaching out to someone, it shouldn't be their first time looking at your name. They should have looked at your name already, in terms of email, in terms of comment or repost or bit any way. It shouldn't be their first time noticing your name.
100% agree. I think if I've invested in a skill beyond just writing my post, it is how to comment. And I enjoy commenting and showing up on people's feed. Sometimes I put on the fun hat, sometimes I put on the takeaways hat. So there are multiple hats that you can wear and you can use that to comment. So that is a great way to grow on the platform and especially build relationships. Last comment here I see is from Sonia. Thanks a lot for answering. I think we appreciate you asking the question as well. Awesome. Sai, I think it's a good time to kind of get into a little bit of a rapid fire. We definitely want to leave people wanting more. Now, Sai is a friend whose arm I am going to twist to come on this show as and when we want. So he he will definitely be a regular person to come on the show. But if you have any questions, first, how should people reach out to you? What are you doing right now that you want people to have get more attention? Uh, what are the projects you want to get more attention from the people who like you, who like your content, and want to kind of learn from you, work with you?
The best way to reach out to me is on, obviously, LinkedIn. I think I do have my email on my about section. If you plan to talk about something, I'm always open to, but I only have enough time as well. But I'll make sure to prioritize depending on the request. But LinkedIn DMs, I mostly reply to most of my messages. I usually do not ignore unless it just says hi, how are you, what's up. I usually reply to messages that I see that they have put in efforts or customized it. I do not reply to like standard AI messages. While I appreciate you using AI, but I would say try to customize it as much as you can, not just to me, but to anyone you're reaching out. They need to know that you have done some research on them, especially if their DMs are filled with hundreds of messages every day. You need to stand out. And some exciting projects that I'm working on, attending a lot of conferences, trying to post a lot on data science and AI content. So I would appreciate, I mean, like, you will be learning a lot. So make sure to follow to learn more on data science, a lot of AI tools and AI frameworks as well.
Awesome. That is great. I highly recommend Sai as a follow on either LinkedIn or Instagram. I have done so for years now, and it has been great to see his journey so far. Sai, a few rapid fire questions
Yeah.
to so that people know Sai beyond. the LinkedIn profile. I know that we've been friends and I know a lot more about you. Still, sometimes I don't think I would know some answers to questions like this. So let's go. First question is, what's your favorite movie?
I would say Bahubali.
Okay.
Yes, I love Prabhas being like he has acted in a way that like it's amazing. It's an amazing movie. Same with Rajamouli who has directed it. So I'm a Telugu person for who don't know me. So I watch a lot of movies. I watch at least 4 to 5 movies a week. Even now till date, I just put a movie on my second screen and then work on like code here on first screen, or like write my LinkedIn post or design something or reply to my emails messages. So there's always something going on in my second screen, be it movie or song. So I'm a movie bluff. But coming back to the question, favorite movie I would say is Bahubali.
How does it feel talking with Katappa today?
It feels so good.
uh, my
Together.
friends, my friends called me that for like weeks after that movie came out, and it was fun. I mean, I've been called so many pet names by now that is
First,
just
first,
a
first.
lot of fun. Uh, Another one, your go-to cuisine when you go out to eat.
Back in India, it was not Indian cuisine, but because I'm in America, United States, it's Indian cuisine because I did not know the value when I was in India, but now I know the value of home food and Indian food. So it's Indian cuisine in 2026.
Nice. This is an interesting one, which is, do you believe in God?
I do believe in God, but I do not. I would say like there's some force beyond all of us that pushes us, or there's reason that this happened or this did not happen the way that you're thinking. But I usually do not put it on him or her on everything. It's usually me that I blame for. Like if something goes correct, it's because of my time, efforts, and consistency. If something goes wrong, maybe I'm missing something out. Maybe I could have done better. I usually put blame or success most of the times on myself rather than God. But there are instances where some things are uncontrollable, and then if it goes wrong, I might put it on them, be it good or bad. But if it's controllable and if it's good or bad, I put it on myself. But if something is uncontrollable, I put it on some external force. But I believe in God. I go to temples, and my mom, like, she goes to temple every day. And then whenever I get a chance in states, I go to temple.
Okay, final question. I want to ask you if you had to give the viewers of this show a challenge, uh, a challenge that they can do within a couple of hours this weekend to help them take action on the topic that we've spoken about today, what would that challenge be?
The one and only challenge that I would suggest is take a screenshot, share your learnings, what you have learned, and what are you going to implement in next 30 days or 60 days. So share your roadmap. I and Varul will make sure to engage with your post, comment on it. So we'll be giving your initial post. So I want all of you to start posting today if you're already not. The fact that you are in this live shows that you want to create content, you want to learn how to become a creator. You just have to execute it now. So take a screenshot, or you don't have to take a screenshot, just tag either of us or both of us. We'll try our best to engage with the post, give you a little push, and then keep posting. So give it 3 months or 6 months, you'll be in this show with Varun.
That is excellent. Thank you so much, Sai. It was great having you here. I know there may be a few final questions. Yeah, external locus of control versus internal. That's exactly right. And it was great having you here. I'm excited to be a passenger along this journey for you in this rocket ship that you're on. But it's exciting to know you as a friend, and more power to you, man. Excited to see where you go next.
Thanks a lot for having me, Varun. You're an amazing friend. I can't wait to come on the podcast again in a few weeks or few months. And then thank you for everyone for joining and for asking amazing questions. If you have more questions, my DMs are open. I'm just a text away. So I'm happy to connect with you all. And I wish you all the best in your job search, your career growth, or your content creation, or whatever it is that you have in your bucket list for 2026 and moving forward.
Thank you. I piggyback on that. Thank you so much for joining and asking amazing questions. This is exactly why I wanted to do the Beyond Grad Show live. So thank you, Sai. Thank you for whoever's